Good evening, everyone. I am Mariyam Suha. I am a final year Bachelor of Science Biology student from the Maldives National University, Maldives. Today, I'm going to present our research on an application of thickening agent to introduce novel Scotch bonnet githyanol sauce in the Maldives. First of all, almost all of the Maldivians love to eat Scotch bonnet, and our meals will be incomplete without Scotch bonnet, which is also widely grown across the country. Currently, there are 2 to 3 locally made Scotch bonnet sauces available here in the Maldivian market, but we are going to introduce a novel sauce product by adding a thickener to producing sauce product by adding a thickener, as none of the locally made product use it to increase the product market value. Okay. In this presentation, I will give a brief introduction of thickeners, our aims and objectives, and we'll also talk about different types of thickeners and how they work with some food application. I will also talk about how we made sauce with thickener, and its sensory evaluation will be discussed with results. Moving on to the introduction. What exactly are thickeners? Thickeners or thickening agents are hydrocolloids that increase the viscosity of a liquid without substantially changing its other properties. As food additives, thickeners is one of the commonly used food products, which will also help in stabilizing food products by increasing suspension and emulsification of colloids, including gels, salts, and emulsion. Increasing demand for long-lasting food has driven market expansion for food thickeners, which is used to thicken food products and improve consumer experience and durability. Our main aim is to investigate the sensory evaluation of addition of food thickener, corn flour to locally made Scotch bonnet sauce to enhance its taste. Our sub-objectives are: determine how addition of corn flour into Scotch bonnet sauce changes the overall likeness by its consumer in terms of taste, texture, and aroma of the product. To find overall acceptability of the novel Scotch bonnet sauce by its consumer. Next, the types of thickeners. As I told before, thickeners can stabilize liquid by holding particle in suspension and helping from emulsion. Culinary thickening tasks are usually conducted with one of the 3 agent, protein, polysaccharides, and food ingredients. Proteins are mainly from animal sources, for example, gelatin, egg whites, and collagen. Polysaccharides are from plant sources like seaweeds, which include different types of starches, cellulose, pectin, and vegetable gums. Food ingredients are more convenient, and they can be used last-minute thickening choices when compared to other 2 types, and it is less expensive too. Using different types of food thickeners is now very common in here, Maldives too, as they are simple to use. But choosing the right thickening agent is still a bit more of a challenge if we don't know how they work and the results they provide. So how exactly thickeners work? Thickening occurs due to non-specific entanglement of polymer chains. At lower concentration, these polymer chains can move freely in the solutions, retaining its Newtonian flow. But at too high concentration, it becomes entangled with itself and is less mobile, which results to thickening process to occur. Protein thickeners like eggs and gelatin work because protein has a coiled molecular shape that contracts when heat is applied, and gelatin is easy to use, while egg requires more care when used so they do not overheat and coagulate to the point of breaking the sauce. Polysaccharides are repeating carbohydrate structure, which is a type of starch too. They work by absorbing the liquid, swelling, and popping. When they pop, starch streams into the liquid and thickens the food. which require heat and continuous mixing for thickening to occur, but breaks when overheated. Food ingredient, for example, flour is a combination of protein and polysaccharide, making it is a stronger thickener. Cooking the flour isolates the protein molecules, which makes the starch more widely available for liquid absorption. Addition of raw flour to liquid results in formation of lumps that are hard to get out, and it will only have marginal thickening strength. But flour as rocks thicken because when exposed to heat, it absorbs more fluid. So moving on to food application. Carboxymethyl cellulose, CMC, and xanthan gum are the most commonly used food thickeners, which is used commercially. CMC or cellulose gum was first produced in 1918 in Germany, which is found in many food applications like salad dressings, fruit pie fillings, and sauces, as it has a high viscosity property, which is reduced by a low pH and presence of electrolytes. Xanthan gum is one of the most effective type of thickeners, which is a polysaccharide secreted by microorganisms and commercially produced in batch fermentation. They are mainly used in soups, ketchups, instant beverages, bakery products, and dessert, as they have a higher shear thinning property, and they are independent of electrolytes and can tolerate wide range of pH. This slide shows that modified starch is most used food thickener. More than 1.5 million tons were used, and global volume of native and modified starch were used around 80 million tons per year. Tomato ketchup is one of the most common food items where thickeners is used to influence its viscosity. Thickeners like flour, cornstarch, and arrowroot slurry can be added to Scotch bonnet sauce to increase its viscosity and stability without changing its original flavor. Viscosity of the sauce plays a major role in handling the quality of the sauces, which will increase people's interest toward the product. And also, addition of thickening agent to sauces helps to achieve their acidic characteristics and to preserve the product for longer time. The next slide is about the process of making sauce, and this shows how we made the sauce. First, all raw material used to make sauce, including onion, garlic, Scotch bonnet, vinegar, water, and a pinch of salt and sugar were grinded. The mixture was then cooked at a temperature of 95 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes. The resulting solution, liquid sauce, is pumped into another vessel to allow it to cool down before adding slurry. The cornstarch slurry was made by mixing 4 tablespoons of corn flour with 4 tablespoons of water. It was stirred into a smooth paste to create a slurry. Then the slurry was added to shimmering sauce. The sauce need to be whisked and cooked until thickening process occurred, which took about 5 minutes for us. And this shows the final product we got with corn flour. We also did sensory evaluation of the product to get consumers' view. Sensory evaluation is a scientific discipline used to evoke, measure, analyze, and interpret reactions. Those characteristics of food products are as perceived by the sense of smell, sight, touch, and hearing. We use a total of 30 untrained participants through our friends and their families with a hedonic scale from 1 dislike extremely to 9 like extremely, as you can see below from the chart, to evaluate their acceptance on appearance, color, taste, and viscosity and overall acceptability. The results obtained were analyzed using IBM SPSS Statistics version 20. As you can see, while there are discrepancies in how people rated different categories, the consistent trend that can be seen even from the observable raw data is that the participants were overall very accepting of the sauce, while some felt that the sauce had a rather overpowering smell of garlic. Even they found the taste to be very likable despite that fact. The graph here depicts the mean value obtained from 30 participants for all the categories. For the overall acceptability, we see is at mean level of 8.33. Moving on to taste, we see it at 8.37 and the appearance at 8.23 and smell at 8.13. We see that the texture was the most unfavorable at 7, but even that rating wasn't particularly low. We also assume that our chili sauce has a pH value of 3.56 to 3.59 based on the literature we read. And I also want to highlight that higher the amount of garlic used in the sauce, the pH and the viscosity of the sauce increases. And we also noticed that in our sauce, the addition of corn flour does not affect color acceptance. While some studies shows that addition of 10% garlic also does not affect overall acceptability, while it became more effective in inhibiting the growth of microorganisms. Moving on to discussion, the appearance, including color and aroma of the sauce is one of the main characteristics that contribute to the easy acceptance of chili sauce by consumers. The addition of starch thickeners does not change the color of the sauce much, as very little amount of starch, here corn flour was added. However, the addition of onion changed the color a bit, and some of the participants recommend to reduce the amount of garlic used due to the strong aroma from garlic, as they do not like garlic personally. According to some study conducted, the addition of garlic from 3% to 10% have not influenced overall acceptability of sauce by consumers. Corn flour thickener concentration significantly affected the texture of the chili sauce. The viscosity of the sauce was noticed by all the participants when compared to locally made Scotch bonnet sauce in the market. Our study has some limitation as it has very high sensitivity to sealing effects due to the limited number of categories available and the general tendency of subjects to avoid using the severe categories. Our results can be improved by using more number of participants under control condition to reduce bias on how participants view product and making sauce samples with different concentration of starch thickener with varied thickness. To conclude, I would like to say that addition of corn flour starch to Scotch bonnet sauce enhance the taste and appearance and smell, and it could be used to improve and promote the Scotch bonnet sauce as a novel product in Maldives. The thick consistency of the sauce is not much liked by consumers. Therefore, with little changes in concentration of corn flour slurry, a better thickening consistency can be achieved, which will be more preferred by consumers. Some of the other beneficial characteristics of food thickeners include it can be used as an ingredient, emulsification, and palatability. It can also help for expansion in product development. The accelerated use in bakery, desserts, and confectionery application. This all will continue to fuel the market for years to come, and this knowledge can be very important to improve fruit production in the Maldives. That is the end of my presentation, and I would like to thank Dr. Aishat Naila, our food chemistry lecturer, for giving us this opportunity to share our research with all of you. Thank you.